His name? Kurt Thomas. His title, 3-time world gymnastics champion. His assignment, a secret mission for the United States government. His only weapon, himself. And that's all he needs. Combine the discipline, the timing, and the power of gymnastics with the explosive force of karate. And a new, all-powerful martial art is born. Gymkata. Kurt Thomas becomes Jonathan Kent.
Hello, and welcome to Viva La Action, the action movie podcast where I fuck up the intro every week.
That's okay.
My name is Hati, and with me as always is my co-host, Grayson.
What up?
What up? We talk about good, bad, and underrated action movies.
Yeah. The only consistent thing about this show is that it's inconsistent.
It's very consistent. I wanted to open the show with a little bit of a thank you and an announcement.
Uh-oh.
The podcast is ending. No.
Damn, well, that didn't last too long.
Just kidding. No. I wanted to thank everybody who has reviewed the podcast on Spotify because we finally have a rating on there. So,
shit.
You can only get it'll only display like your average after you've had so many.
Uh-huh.
Apparently that number is 5. So after doing this for 6 months or however long we've done it, we finally got 5 reviews.
Hell yeah.
Drum roll. We have a 4.8 out of 5.
Hey,
which is pretty good.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
And I 96%.
Exactly. And I don't mean to be negative, but if you do the calculation, that means we got 4 5-star reviews and 1 1-star review.
Well, that's fine.
Which I find really funny.
Yeah.
Because that means somebody listened and just hated us.
Yeah, they're like, man, this is trash.
I think I have a theory.
Okay.
I think that was Damien Chapa.
Yeah, well, you know what? Your movie sucked.
It was really bad. But anyway, so thank you everybody for reviewing us. That's really nice.
All 5 of you.
All 5 of you.
Even Damien Chapa.
Even you, Damien. You weirdo. That's all. That's enough self-indulgence. Oh, the other thing, if anybody's been paying attention, which I know you haven't, I finally am caught up on YouTube. So
nice.
All the podcasts are up there. I think I'm missing one from like very early on, but I don't even remember which episode it was. So
there you go.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
So all the main episodes are now up on the YouTube channel. I was 2 behind, and I finally got them uploaded. So we're good to go there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's all the administrative details.
Excellent. We're winning.
That being said, we're back in the saddle.
Hell yeah.
We're riding them cowboy.
Yep.
Cowboy style. Cowgirl style. Reverse cowgirl.
We're just naming sex positions now.
Is cowboy style a thing?
Oh, I'm sure.
Probably.
It's probably for gay men.
Probably. Good for them.
Yeah.
Making up moves.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's no longer Pride Month. Damn it.
No, it's Wrath Month.
It is Wrath Month. Yes. Anyway, we. Oh, I got way too close to the mic. Are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, fuck you.
We watch movies on this show.
Yeah, we do.
Sometimes.
Occasionally.
And we watched a movie this week.
Sure did.
We watched Gymkata, which you're making a face there.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like I have to confess something.
Uh-oh.
I told you, because when we talked about it last time, I was like, we've watched like 3 good movies in a row.
Yeah.
2 of them excellent, and then, one of them like pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, now we got to like take a step back. We got to humble ourselves in the audience. We got to watch something bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like I lied to you because I said Gymkata is like this like famous like cult garbage film, right? But what I didn't tell you is that I love it.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of figured you would.
Because it's very silly.
It's kind of goofy.
But we'll talk about it. So
Yeah.
if all that hasn't told you, we're talking about Gymkata.
Yeah.
Which is it's a 1985 American martial arts film. I just did scare quotes.
Yeah.
Directed by Robert Klaus. We'll come back to him. And it is based on a short story by an author known as Dan Tyler Moore.
Oh.
The story was called The Terrible Game. We'll talk about that. The film stars real-life gymnast Kurt Thomas as Jonathan Cabot. It also co-stars Techi Agbayani as Princess Rubali, Richard Norton as Commander Zamir, and Edward Bell as Paley. The film has do you want to guess what it has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, like 20%?
Close. It has a 17%.
Ah, well.
Which officially makes it the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score we've talked about yet.
Nice.
Again, with the asterisk that Mexican American does not have a rating.
Because it's actually garbage.
No one's seen it but us.
Yeah.
Because if it did, I think it'd have 0. But regardless, would you like to guess what the audience score for this movie is? It might surprise you.
Might surprise me.
Yeah.
70.
40.
Okay.
It's slightly better than I thought.
Yeah, that's... I swear to God, if you were like, oh yeah, it is 70, I would have quit.
It's a 90, no?
It has a 99%. It's officially fresh, according to the audience.
It is in my heart. Finally, the plot synopsis from IMDb. An American gymnast travels to a foreign country to compete in a deadly game not won by anyone other than a native in more than 900 years. That does not tell you half of what goes on in this movie.
It tells you nothing.
And just to get it out of the way early, this movie does not pass the Bechdel test.
Oh, God, no.
Not by a mile.
I was looking for it.
There's one woman.
I was gonna say there's one woman, and she makes out with the main character in the first. And I looked at this
10 minutes.
First 10 minutes.
Yes,
they're swapping tongues.
Absolutely.
I was like, when that happened, I genuinely got my remote and looked at the time code because I was like, no fucking way.
Yep.
Ridiculous. Bunch of horny bastards in the 80s.
So, what did you think of it?
It was weird.
It's so fucking strange.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what was going on half the time. I was very confused.
Yeah.
The problem, I think, the main problem with this movie is they don't tell you anything.
No.
Like straight, they just don't tell you anything. Now the first half, fairly normal.
Yes.
I was like, okay, all right, I kind of get where this may be going. And then the second half.
Yes.
That's where it lost me.
It really ramps up.
What happened to the director? Was he okay? Did something happen?
I don't know.
While they were filming and he just all of a sudden off the rails? I
don't know, but
because first of all, the pigs.
Yes. Love the pigs.
Because I watched this movie last night. And I had to get up to get something.
Yeah.
And it was right when the pig stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And I heard the pig noises. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And there's all these people standing over that guy, stabbing him. And for a second, I thought they were making the pig noises.
Oh, no.
And so I got very confused. I was like, did this become some weird Bauhaus avant-garde thing all of a sudden?
It feels like that for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then those pigs had to have been puppets.
I think they were pigs. Real pigs.
Those were real pigs?
I think so.
They didn't look like real pigs.
They could have been puppets at some point, but I think for the most part they're real pigs.
Anyway.
I wish there was a camera on your face. Because you're making great expressions.
Yeah, the second half, I was confused.
Yes. I'll try my best to clear it up. I don't think I'm going to help.
The only thing I really understood was that there was a game,
Yes.
and there's a dickhead who just killed everybody
Yes.
towards the end of the game because he didn't want anybody to win.
Yes. It's very confusing. So, we'll this is going to be one of the rare times where I'm going to spend a good amount of time like detailing the plot.
Yeah.
Because I think this movie's very funny. Like if you try to break down like what is supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
But just to give you some background about the production. So this, and hold on, I need to look him up really quick, but this movie was produced by, this was produced by Fred Weintraub, who, he's got a great name.
Fantastic name.
He was a very prominent producer for a lot of years. He did all kinds of shit, but he most famously produced Enter the Dragon,
Okay.
and Game of Death, which are two of Bruce Lee's. They're his last two films. Game of Death wasn't finished when he died, but it was completed, and it was This movie was also directed by Robert Klaus, who directed Game of Death and Enter the Dragon.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because if you look at the plot of this movie, it is basically the plot of Enter the Dragon. Like, it's
Really?
about a guy who works for a special operations thing, and he has to infiltrate this game to like take down the leader of the whatever. This movie is like nothing like Enter the Dragon.
Oh God, no.
But that's just an interesting thing to note because Enter the Dragon is a masterpiece. And this movie is not a masterpiece. And it's weird. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
It's weirdly badly made. Like,
Yes, it is.
there are two moments within the first 10 minutes where it's not in focus. And I don't know what happened. Did you notice that?
I did, yes.
There's a moment where it's supposed to be focusing on the main character, and
just-
he's all blurry.
Yeah.
Because they just weren't in focus. Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there.
Like, how did nobody catch that?
I don't know.
Also,
I don't
I
know.
want to say, the clouds covered the sun in this room, and so it got really dark in here. And for a brief moment, I got worried about our lighting. And then I remembered, wait a minute,
We don't
we're not
film these.
filming
No,
shit. So
we should. But the problem is people don't know because they don't know the layout of this room.
Yeah.
The problem is if we set up a camera, it would have to just be pointed at you.
Well, I mean, we could set one up here
We
too.
could, but then we'd have to like set up two cameras
Oh yeah.
in addition to the fold-out table.
If anybody doesn't know, there's a queen size bed in this.
There is. This is literally a bedroom that
Yeah.
I've shoved a table into the corner of.
Yeah. It's very cozy.
It is very cozy, and you're right. The sun did just go away, and it's kind of dark in here now.
Anyway,
Because I was speaking ill of Robert Klaus.
yeah. And so anyway, I got worried about our lighting, but it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah. So anyway, Fred Weintraub, who was the producer, he wanted to basically create like an American Jackie Chan. And the reason I say Jackie Chan and not like Bruce Lee or whatever is because Jackie Chan, if for those who don't know, Jackie Chan and a lot of the like Hong Kong action movie guys, they actually came out of Peking Opera, which was like, it's acrobatics and it's gymnastics and it's like all this stuff. And so it's much more of like a physical, like fluid kind of thing.
Yeah.
And at this point in 1985, Hong Kong is like huge. It's like Jackie Chan is like at the height of his like star power. Like
He basically runs Hong Kong.
yeah, like 80s and 90s, that's like peak like Hong Kong cinema.
Yeah.
And so, well, action cinema. And so Fred Weintraub sees this and he's like, I gotta get me one of them, right? But rather than doing what we would do now, which is you go get somebody from Hong Kong or Thailand or wherever, and then you train them to be an actor and whatever, he was just like, well, I'll just get like the American equivalent of that. And at the time, he thought that was Kurt Thomas, who, to his credit, is an incredible gymnast.
Oh no, he was great.
He's great, and if you see footage of him in like actual like gymnastics competitions, he's insane. He's like, he's a very good athlete. He is not an actor though.
Oh God, no.
And we'll talk about it. But also, it is funny that, like, rather than being like, oh, he's a great athlete, we'll train him to be, like, a good martial artist and whatever.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, we could just make the movie about gymnastics.
Yeah. Yep.
So there you go. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the background of the thing. The book that it's based on, The Terrible Game, it came out in the 60s. The plot is very
Makes
similar.
sense.
It's about like an American agent who goes to this almost medieval country to win this game and then be able to be granted this one wish, which is to allow them to be friends with America so that they can build the Star Wars satellite or missile program, right? They can build a missile base in this country, right? Now, as far as I'm aware, in the book, he's not a gymnast.
No.
And
Star Wars hadn't been invented yet.
it hadn't. And also, it's not named. I don't think they name the country in the book. Which is funny because in this one, they decided to name it Parmistan, which is so close to Parmesan.
Yeah.
Like every time I watch this movie, and it's more than once, I swear to God, I think they're going to say Parmesan or
Yeah.
Parmesan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would you-
Parmigiano.
Parmigiano. We got to go to a Parmigiano. It's like, why would you name it that? Like, I know they had to name it Stan, right? Because the
Yeah.
whole idea is it's supposed to be this, like, I don't know, like Eastern European, almost Middle Eastern country, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of the stands. It's like
Yeah.
Uzbekistan
And
or whatever.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, but they're like, Parmistan.
Parmistan. Somebody was eating just like noodles,
Yeah.
like pasta, and he was like looking at the Parmesan, and he was like in the meeting. They're like, okay, we need a name for this country.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there, and they're like, Greg, what you got? And he's like, huh? What? Parmesan. Parmistan. And they went, perfect.
Perfect.
You're hired.
You nailed it, Greg.
Now get out of here.
That is what it feels like. It
Yeah.
feels like they just fucking... Anyway. So, we'll get into the plot. Because...
If there is one.
there is technically a plot. I like how this movie opens because...
Yeah. It
It
didn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but also the opening titles go for so long.
Oh my God.
Before anything happens, like
Well, and like not even that. There are just like so many scenes where I was like, when does this end?
yeah,
When does this scene specifically end? Because it just goes on
and on
It
and on.
I was thinking about this during the boat scene where they're going down the river.
Yeah,
I was like, it feels like they filmed this movie, and when they put it together for the first time, it only was like 30 minutes.
yeah,
And they were like, fuck, we can't release this. And so they just went back and added an hour of bullshit. And then went, yep, good enough. Send it.
that is what it feels like. So anyway, so the
Yeah.
opening, it's like a image of a crossbar,
Yeah.
and it just sits there for, I swear to God, like 3 minutes, and then finally Kurt Thomas appears with his hulking biceps.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like doing some gymnastics, and then it intercuts with this scene of a guy being chased. We never learn who that guy was. I don't think.
No.
Actually, no, I don't think so. I was
No.
gonna say, is that supposed to be his dad?
Nah. Because his
think-
dad survived.
Yeah,
And
it
that
doesn't
guy
matter.
and that guy got shot
Well,
and
his
fell.
dad sort of survives. So we'll
Well,
talk about
all right. Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so there's a guy being chased down. He's playing the game, I suppose.
Whatever the game is.
And there's a man on horseback chasing him. That guy is played by Richard Norton.
Of Norton VPN.
That's right. No, he is a martial artist. He's like a judo champion. He's like done all kinds of stuff.
Very cool.
He's been involved in like martial arts movies and things forever. People will probably recognize
I thought you were
him.
going to say like some war crime or something.
Yeah, he was involved in Benghazi. I don't know. No. What I liked about him is that his name is Zamir, right?
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be this, like, I don't know, vaguely foreign person.
Yeah.
I swear he does an accent for like 2 scenes, and then he's just Australian for the rest of it.
Yeah,
which is fine.
He's just like a white guy.
Yeah, he's like, Jonathan, I'm gonna get ya.
Yep.
If anybody's interested, I bring this up all the time. There's an interview with him on the Kung Fu Movie Guide podcast. It's a very funny interview. He's very charismatic. He's like 70 now, and he's still doing like stunts and fight coordination and all kinds of stuff.
Good for him.
He trained. I almost called her Harley Quinn. He trained Margot Robbie for the Suicide Squad. Yeah, and he helped to train John Cena for a bunch of stuff, and he's like known for things. He's in Mad Max Fury Road. He did some of the fight coordination for that as well.
Oh wow.
So yeah, he's been all over the shop. So, and he is actually pretty good. Like he's not given a lot to do, but anyway, he's chasing down this random man, and the guy finally gets to like this bridge that he has to like walk, like, you know, like pull himself across by his arms, and then a guy very slowly loads a bow and arrow.
Yep.
Shoots him right in the heart. It's
Yeah.
very funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a cut to a okay dummy hitting the ground.
Yeah.
And then we just hard cut back
to gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt Thomas, like, he like gets off of like the whatever he's doing. I don't remember if it's the crossbar or the pommel horse or whatever. And he's like, well, hey, I won a medal or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes to meet like a woman, and he's like, hi, unnamed woman. And then a man appears, and he's like, come with me. And he's
a white
like,
man.
Yeah,
no.
And he leaves with him, and then there's like a shot of the woman, and she's like, what's going on? You never see her again.
Nope.
I don't know who that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But
we never named.
No.
Doesn't say a word.
No.
She's just there.
She's just there. It's bizarre.
It's very strange.
We then cut to someone's house. I don't know whose house it is, but Jonathan, Kurt Thomas, is being given instructions about this mission he's going to go on. There is no transition.
No.
In the 2 times I watched it this week, I was like, am I missing a scene? There is no scene where he's recruited.
Nope.
There's no scene where we understand that, like, oh, he's going over there because of whatever. He's just picked.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. And that's what really gets me. Mm-hmm. Because, like, he's a gymnast.
Right.
He has no, as far as I know, he has no political ties.
No.
He has no special forces training.
Yeah.
He's not part of any standing military or anything. He's just a guy that likes to swing around on a bar.
Yeah.
And they went, yeah, get that guy. He's perfect.
Yeah. And they also say that, like, his dad played in this game and whatever. No explanation as to why.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's whatever. You got to figure it out yourself.
So Jonathan is being tasked with going to Parmistan, and he has to play the game, which is this vague competition.
Oh, also, everybody, you lost the game.
Yeah, congratulations.
Got them.
You did get them. I totally lost where I was. It doesn't matter. Anyway, he's got to play this fucking game.
It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's just an obstacle course.
It really is at the end of the day. It's just you're being chased, and there's like a bunch of stuff you got to jump over. And maybe a giant man will beat you up at some point. But besides that, it's this game that no non-Parmistanian has ever won. Except maybe this one guy, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It never comes up.
It never comes up. And so they're like, you gotta... Oh, and if you win the game, you're granted one wish, right?
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. By the way, Jonathan never gets his fucking wish.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
It's explained in a title credit at the end as if it's a real thing that happened. But regardless... And they're like, you got to get in there. You got to win this game, because if you don't, the enemy, read Russia, will become friendly with them and install a missile base. And that's too close to, our allies, so we need to get in there and install a missile base before they do, right? Just some wonderful Cold War politics at play. Not problematic at all.
It literally wasn't even the Cold War. This was the 80s.
It's fine. The Russians were still the enemy in the 80s.
They're still the enemy now.
Well, technically, yeah, but anyway.
They've always been the enemy.
And they're like, okay, we got to train you, Jonathan, because you're a weird little freak at the moment. And they're like, but don't worry. We've got on our side the princess of this country. Where'd she come from? Why is she on the American side? No explanation. Doesn't matter. And he's like, hey, baby, like, let's get training or whatever. And then she hog ties him for some reason. And he's like, she's trying to tell you not to trust anybody. And he's like, oh, by the way, she doesn't speak, right?
Yeah. And then like 10 minutes later, they make out. So.
They make out, yeah. And also she just speaks later, and they don't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
She talks now, which is cool. So, I guess because she made out with him.
Yeah, she found her voice.
She did. And then there is a transition to a training sequence.
Which is terrible.
It's bizarre and terrible.
Yeah.
There's no music.
I know. I was going to say, where, like, so eventually there is, like, music, but it's, like, towards the end of the montage. Yeah. But, yeah, for the first, I don't know, 10 minutes of this training montage, it's quiet.
Yeah.
Which is unsettling, to say the least.
They also don't do a good job of, like he never changes outfits or anything.
I know.
So it looks and feels like it all takes place on the same day.
Yeah.
Like he learns martial arts and he learns how to climb up the stairs on his hands and he learns to make out all in like one day. Which is...
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It was probably like, because I love a good training montage.
Oh yeah,
they're
me too.
Fantastic. This was by far the worst one
I've
ever seen. Like he doesn't even train anything.
No.
There's one point where one of the guys that's training him is blindfolded and just
swinging.
Like, what is that supposed to be training him
from that?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
It doesn't matter.
He just, because then afterwards, like, the dude takes off his blindfold and he's like,
"Yep," just give him a thumbs up.
and Kurt Russell or whatever the fuck, whatever the fuck his name is, Jonathan.
Yeah,
it's just like he's like shaking his head.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, what? You."
Yeah, like, what was that?
I don't know. There's also a funny moment where Jonathan is doing something. He's like training with something. And the Japanese instructor is like sitting and he's got a falcon, but the falcon never comes up.
Yeah.
Why does he have a falcon?
I don't know.
There's so many inexplicable things in this movie.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's the worst training montage.
Yeah.
The music kicks in, like you said, like halfway through.
Yep.
There's a great moment where he's like tussling with like the African-American guy.
Yeah.
And then he's like on the ground and then he's like, the other lesson you got to learn is when to let the other guy get back up. And I'm like, I don't think you should learn that lesson.
No, it's
a bad lesson.
It's a terrible lesson. Unlearn that.
It's very strange.
Yeah,
It also concludes with him climbing up the stairs on his hands.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think he could do that anyway, but
they needed to make it look like he was learning or whatever.
But like the hallmark, the hallmark of a good training montage, right, is that like if you think about Rocky, right, or Creed, or
I've never seen a Rocky movie, by the way.
I've seen Creed. Have you seen Creed?
I have seen Creed, but that's not a Rocky movie.
It's based. I mean, Rocky's in it.
Well, yeah, but it's not. The main character isn't Rocky.
Oh, whatever. It's a Rocky movie. Anyway.
Fair enough.
If you see that, or you see like, I don't know. Oftentimes, like what they're training in comes up, right?
Yeah.
Like you see Rocky chasing around the chicken, right? Oh, it's because he's got to be light on his feet or whatever. None of that comes up. Like there's never a point where he's like, oh wait, I learned to climb on my hands and knees. He's just like, all right,
Yep.
That's
a thing I can do now. It's a cool trick.
This scene also has one of my favorite lines in the whole movie, where Jonathan is on the monkey bars for some reason.
Sure.
That's gonna help him, I guess.
Yep.
and his name is Paley. He's like the secret agent guy.
Yeah.
He's like trying to explain to him. He's like, oh, this is the princess, and he says she's got an interesting background. Her mother was Indonesian.
That's right.
And he says nothing else.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I think it didn't even register for me because it was just like that was it.
That's it.
You
think he's gonna say like her mother was Indonesian, but she immigrated back to the United States and blah blah blah. He's just like her mother was Indonesian. And then there's no words, there's no music. It's just like
yeah, and it moves on so quick that it didn't register for me that he didn't say anything else.
It's so bizarre,
right? And like, okay, so yeah, her mother's Indonesian. What about her father?
He's just an old man, I guess.
It's just a guy.
Yeah, which by the way, she doesn't look anything like anybody else in that country.
Oh, no.
Like, because the actress Techi Agbayani, she is from the Philippines, so she's
kind of figured.
Yeah, she's not Indonesian at all.
Hell no.
But they were just like, she doesn't look Eastern European. Where's somewhere in Asia? Indonesia.
Perfect.
Bizarre. Anyway, so then they make out, right? Inexplicably.
Yeah. I looked at the time code on YouTube. It is 12 minutes and 42 seconds into the movie. Mm-hmm. They're just making out.
Yep, which is fine.
Which, okay.
Whatever. I get no inclination that she would like him at all, but
nope. No, but don't forget, he did like 180 backflips.
That was such a bizarre.
He's
like, "Good morning, princess." Flip. Oh, how are you? I'm like, that is so creepy.
That's
like,
the weirdest thing. And then, but for some reason, she thought it was funny. So.
Yeah, she's very endearing. This weird little man that she's been forced to hang out with.
Yeah.
So then they have to go to this other country because they explain that like the only way you can get into Parmistan is through. They say it's by like a land thing, but then later they're on a boat, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
But they're like, you have to go to, what is it? It's like Kandahar on the Caspian Sea.
Yeah.
And they say it, I swear to God, 3 times. They're like, where are you going? Kandahar on the Caspian Sea. Hard cut, title, Kandahar on the Caspian Sea.
Yep. Just in case you
forgot. Yeah. And then he gets to this other place. The agent guy isn't with them for some reason.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're going to send you with this other guy.
Yeah.
Right. He takes them to this warehouse, which is like, they're like, this is your secret base. And he gives them like some like weapons, one of which is just a switchblade that fires out a blade.
Yeah.
Never comes up.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it with him.
They also say that you can't have guns.
In Parmistan, yes.
In Parmistan, and then these guys show up with guns.
Yes. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
So, whatever. It's fine.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing in this movie. Nothing matters.
Sense doesn't matter. Logic doesn't matter. There's a very funny scene where he tells them like, okay, you're here in town now. Like, but if you want to explore the city, you've got like tonight because we're not leaving till tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So they go out of the city. Immediately, the princess gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Like not even like 5 minutes later. I also love that this movie's idea of like the Middle East and like Eastern Europe is just like people in turbans.
Yeah.
And also fezzes.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just like, oh, I've got a blanket and I've got a fez and I'm selling things. This is the Middle East.
And that guy has a turban. Great.
It doesn't matter.
Fantastic. Let's just mix everything together. It's all the same.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of white dudes wearing turbans and they're like, it's the Middle East.
Brown people hadn't been invented yet.
No, not in movies.
No, not in movies. No.
The princess gets kidnapped right away.
Yep.
Right. And there's this very funny scene where Jonathan has to like beat people up. Right. And it's the first time he pulls out his Gymkata. And lucky for him, most of the Middle East and Eastern Europe is laid out like a gym. So there's lots of crossbars. There's a literal pommel horse later on in the movie. So he gets to do a lot of like backflipping and he does a one of my favorite moves, which is the jump double kick.
That was a good one.
There's a very funny moment where a guy is like on one side of him and he flips over the guy, grabs a pallet and smacks him with it.
Yeah. Good shit.
And I'll say this, right? It's goofy. It's very
yes,
goofy.
It is.
But I love it.
It's also...
It's kind of impressive.
It is. It's very impressive. Shout out to Jonathan, whatever.
Kurt Thomas.
Kurt Thomas. I keep wanting to say Kurt Russell. It's
I know.
not.
It's
okay. Not Kurt Russell.
It's not Kurt Russell.
He's a different guy. He's really good.
He is
like,
very
like at
good.
the very start of this, episode, we were talking about how good he is as a gymnast. He's really fucking good.
Yeah. It's very impressive.
Yeah, that might have been like the only impressive thing about this movie was his gymnastics.
Yes.
Anytime he started doing flips and shit, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. He looks great. And like, he is not a good actor.
Oh, God, no.
He's not selling his lines. I don't believe him as like a Black Ops gymnast or whatever.
No, he's a dork is
but
what he is.
I mean, that's not his fault.
No.
Like, he's 19, right? And he looks
was 19?
Yeah, he was 19. He looks 19.
I swear to God, he was at least 23.
Oh, no. I think he's 19.
Wow.
He's rocking the most mullety mullet you've ever seen in your life.
I did respect the mullet. I love a good mullet.
I love the mullet.
Yeah.
He's rocking the worst facial hair you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's really bad.
Makes your facial hair look good.
It does. I have bad facial hair, if anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, you get the
It's real patchy. Yeah.
a little rat mustache.
I get a rat mustache and I get just the wisp of a beard.
Yeah.
Just,
basically pubes.
I get pubes on my face. Yeah, he's not good.
No.
Which is unfortunate. But he is physically, he's great.
Oh, yeah.
Leaping and kicking. He's believable in that way, I guess. But he doesn't act well.
No. He's very fit.
He is very fit. He's very strong.
Yeah.
He's got that classic gymnast thing
Yeah.
where he's just like a bubble up top.
He's built like a Dorito.
Like, you see his tricep, and it's like the size of a baseball. It's insane.
Yeah, you're like, God, put those away.
Yeah.
People watching.
He's very impressive physically.
Yeah.
Anyway, he gets the princess back at some point.
Yeah.
He has a very funny fight where he's got like a fire extinguisher. He's fighting like an old man with an axe.
Yeah.
There's a very weird moment in that because he's like, oh, she's holed up in this castle. I gotta like infiltrate it. And there's a moment where he goes through a door and then like leaves and then comes back through the door.
Yeah.
And there's like an old man creeping down the stairs with an axe.
Yeah.
It's completely wordless.
Yeah. I like how everybody with a gun doesn't aim.
No.
It's all hip fire.
Oh yeah. It's the 80s.
That's true. Bullets
all
are
they did.
free.
They were free. Yeah, he rescues the princess or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I like how he, like, the princess gets kidnapped. He goes back to the warehouse. He's like, the princess is kidnapped. And the guy's like, and he was like, I gotta go save her. And then whatever the fuck his name was.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Was like, well, you can't go in there. It's a terrorist complex or whatever. Doesn't even lose. And it's not even like that heavily
There's like
fortified.
5 guys.
Yeah. It's not even like that hard to get into.
And 2 of them he takes down by just throwing them over the stairs. Like,
yeah.
They really don't put up much of a fight.
Yeah, and I think he just walked through the front door.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He sees a couple guys like chasing him. He goes through the front door. He beats up the old man with the axe. And then there's like a couple guys in turbans who are clearly just white dudes. And he like spin kicks them off the staircase.
Yeah.
Goes in the room. And the princess is like being held hostage.
Yeah.
And she like just gets the gun away.
Yeah.
And then he shoots the guy. There is no mention made of his first murder.
Nope.
He's just like, all right, I did it. Woohoo!
Baby's first murder.
And then, they get away. They go back to the warehouse. For some reason, Paley comes back. Why he didn't go with them in the first place, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he machine guns everybody.
Yeah.
Because he's like, they were traitors. It's like, we didn't get any sense of that.
No.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
He disappears again. I think that's the last time we see of him.
Yep.
And then they're in Parmistan.
Yep.
They arrive by boat down a river.
Yep. They went whitewater rafting.
Yes. It's clearly shot in, like, I don't know, Northern California or somewhere like that.
Yeah, it's the Grand Tetons.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
just a forest. It doesn't matter.
It's a national park.
And, like, 20 guys show up
So many.
to greet them.
Which is so funny because Jonathan was like, you know these guys? And she was like, yeah, that's my family. And then they beat him up.
They do.
Like, they just beat the shit out of him.
He takes out a couple, but then
He
they
does.
just really just kick him.
Yeah. And she doesn't say, hold on, guys.
Yeah.
We're here for the games.
Mm-hmm.
She just stands there.
Yeah. Also, there's no mention made of, like, why she was missing.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, my daughter's home. And it's
Wahoo!
like, wahoo! Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, her father.
yeah.
Oh.
Fool.
Yeah.
Absolute hooligan.
Yeah. He's a weirdo. And
Yeah.
they don't look
No.
at all the same.
That's just a guy from New York. Yeah, I don't.
Yep. Yeah, he somehow managed to become king of this country.
Yeah.
I feel like it happened by accident.
Probably.
And he's just playing along. Oh, well, he even says, I gotta go play king for these people.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
They kind of throw out, like, most of the plot by the time you get to Parmistan. Because it's just like...
I hate that it's called Parmistan.
It's so stupid. Also, it takes so long to get there. Like, we're about 45 minutes into the movie by the time you finally get to Parmistan.
Yeah, and like 30 minutes of that is just them whitewater rafting.
Yeah, it's so long.
It takes forever.
So they finally get, like, they're like, oh, we got a banquet and then we'll do the games, right? And then there's this weird, like, running of the prisoners where they, like, let a bunch of prisoners loose, and then Zamir, who is the Australian, he, like, chases them down and murders a bunch of them, which is like, yay!
That's
and
horrible.
it's fine.
That has to be a war crime.
I know. Also, they, like, at the end of it, they're like, don't worry, the king is safe. And I'm like, he's, like, the dictator who, like
Yeah.
did all this shit. Like, why are we cheering that he's alive?
Yeah.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
It's fine. We don't need any explanation.
We don't. There's a very tense scene at dinner where Zamir is, like, showing off because he's engaged to be wed to the princess.
Yeah, who's been fucking Jonathan. So
Yeah, just, secretly. It doesn't matter.
it's fine.
We also meet a guy named Thorg,
Yep.
who's just this mammoth of a man.
Huge.
He looks like, and I'm sure he's just actually large, but he looks like if you took, like, a skinny guy and you put a shirt on him and then stuffed it with clothes.
Yeah.
That's what that guy looks like.
Okay. There was one guy that kind of looked like Andre the Giant.
Yes.
Was that actually Andre the Giant?
No. That was
Damn.
just some guy. I don't know
Alright.
who that was.
I love Andre the Giant.
Who doesn't?
He's a great guy.
He was a great guy. If we ever do an episode on, like, Conan the Destroyer or The Princess Bride or something, we'll talk about
Yeah.
Andre the Giant. But, yeah. So there's this dinner scene.
Yeah.
Zamir at some point takes his shirt off. And he's real oily.
He does.
He's like,
I do have to say he's got great tits.
he does have great tits. He's very fit, that
Yeah.
guy. And he's, like, flipping scimitars around or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, don't worry, I'll beat him at the game or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then Jonathan and the princess have, like, a midnight rendezvous. I don't remember why. He's just like, I gotta talk to you. And then they meet in the courtyard.
Because I think what's his nuts? Like, threatens Jonathan. He's like,
That's right.
Don't touch my girl. And Jonathan was, like, weirdly unbothered.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, weirdo.
Yeah.
And yeah, then they have their little rendezvous.
Also, okay, I forgot to mention, they because Jonathan gets knocked out and then he wakes up and there's this horrifying looking person who's like his, like, caregiver.
Yeah.
And she's got, like, real dark circles around her eyes, and,
Yeah.
like, crooked teeth and stuff, like classic like witch
Yeah.
kind of thing. And there's this moment where you think she's gonna fuck him,
Yo, yeah.
and I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it cuts away.
Yeah.
But then later, right, he puts on his stealth outfit, which is great.
Yeah.
And his plan for getting a message to the princess is he threatens that woman with a knife.
Yep.
And he's like, take me to the princess.
Yep.
He then gets to the princess's room and he's like, tell her to meet me in the courtyard. And then he runs away. And it's like, you're right here. Just tell her yourself.
Yeah, just knock on the door, my guy. Just
It's so odd. Anyway, then they meet in the courtyard.
yeah.
She runs away.
Yeah.
After they talk.
If this movie had really leaned into the R rating, they would have we would have seen them bone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't even know why they could have rated this PG-13.
They could have. I don't know.
It wasn't even that gory.
No, and it's what's her name? Princess Rubali, Techi Agbayani. She was a Playboy playmate at some point, so she was like a cover model and she did a whole bunch of stuff. So she's obviously like not opposed to nudity.
You're right.
I don't know why they just have this weird PG-13 sex scene. I'm not saying I wanted to see them get it on.
Oh
but
no,
it's just
neither
like,
did I. But it's like
it is odd.
If you're gonna rate something R,
Yeah,
fucking go for it, man.
yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
Very strange.
It doesn't matter.
There's a bit of gore later,
a little bit,
but
but it just looks like they threw just red paint on it.
yeah. I mean that's the style of the time.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
Also, when she's running away, like in the courtyard, she's running in the funniest way possible. She's got her arms up.
Yeah.
And she's like this.
Yeah.
Like wagging them.
Yep.
She looks like a Me character.
Oh yeah.
Like from the Wii.
Yeah.
God,
I miss the Wii.
He also beats up two of the guards, and it's just not brought up later.
Oh yeah.
It's like they're gonna remember you. Like it doesn't matter.
It's whatever. It's fine.
But
nothing
finally,
in this movie matters.
No. Finally, we get to the game. Right?
Yeah.
And my boy Jonathan just biffs it immediately.
Yeah, he's
Like,
real bad at this.
Within 2 seconds, he is on the ground and just rolling around.
Yeah.
He's like not even close to first place. He's like way in the back.
Yep.
Zamir breaks the rules and starts chasing after him for some reason.
Yep. Oh yeah, what we should mention that one of the rules is that so there's a bunch of like guards that are stationed around the obstacle course so that nobody strays. And now I wasn't too clear on some of the rules, but like they can't kill. So okay, they can kill the contestants.
Yes.
But only in certain circumstances.
I think the contestants can kill each other.
Aha. Okay.
And I think the guards can like can't interfere with that. But I think Zamir broke the rules because he doesn't want Jonathan to win.
Right.
So he's like trying to kill Jonathan.
Yeah.
Because he's not a contestant. He's just like the bodyguard of the king or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. No.
So there are a lot of scenes where Jonathan's like, help me! And the guard's just like, doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So the game gets started.
Yeah.
He's like way in the back.
Yeah.
And he gets chased through a cornfield.
Yes.
I thought that was going to lead to something.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. He's just running through some corn.
Yeah.
There's the bit where he's like climbing up the like rope because there's like a rope thing that they have to climb up.
Yeah.
Again, just a convenient gymnastics thing that he has to do.
Yeah.
And Zamir, who is surrounded by men with bows and arrows, decides that he's going to burn the rope. But he doesn't do it until Jonathan's like almost all the way up.
Yeah.
And it's like,
what
just shoot him.
Yeah.
He's right there.
Just take a bow and just, you know?
You're already cheating. Like,
yeah. Might as well just go for it.
Doesn't matter. So he burns the rope. Jonathan gets out.
Yeah. He's fine.
We get to the bridge that they have to hand climb across. And again, Zamir, instead of shooting him,
just
decides to cut the rope.
Yep.
But again, doesn't do it until he's almost all the way across.
Yeah. So when it falls, Jonathan just kind of like is now again climbing. It's the same thing he just did, but again.
Yeah. So whatever.
He's fine.
He's fine. We then see Thorg, stupidest name in the whole movie. It's right up there with Parmistan.
Thorg from Parmistan.
This could be my LinkedIn bio.
Yeah, there you go.
My right leg just fell asleep.
We'll wake it up.
Thorg like beats up the guy who's in first place.
Yep.
Like drowns him or something. I can't exactly remember.
Yeah.
The guards don't interfere.
Nope.
Jonathan then like encounters the corpse and he's like, "Oh my God, Thorg did this!" Right?
Yeah.
And then they have like a little tussle.
Yeah.
Like Thorg and Jonathan. And you think Thorg is killed because he gets shot directly in the heart with an arrow.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like, there's no way that didn't hit his heart.
No, God, no.
And you're like, he's dead. He's not dead.
No.
He comes back later.
He's fine.
But then we finally get to what I think is the best part of the movie, which is the village of the Crazies.
Yeah.
So one of the obstacles in the game, which, by the way, it's like 5 obstacles. Like,
yeah.
It's like the bridge, it's the cornfield, it's the rope thing, and then it's a village full of crazy people.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that could have been the whole game.
Yeah.
Because
survived that.
That's insane.
Oh, it was bonkers.
And like you said, it becomes this weird, like, avant-garde, like, horror movie.
Yep.
Out of nowhere. Like, total tone change.
Yep.
It's insane. It's amazing.
Do you remember that scene in Parks and Rec where Leslie and April go to that weird performance thing that Oren's at and everybody's dressed like animals?
Yeah.
It felt like that.
It did. Yes.
And like I said at the beginning, I had to like get up and do something. And so I kind of like, I zoned out for like just a second. And when I came back, I was lost. I was like, what? Huh?
Yeah. It's very strange.
It threw me for a loop. Even if I think I had been paying attention, I still would have been lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so strange. It's so good though. It's amazing.
It's something.
It's very like atmospheric.
It is.
It feels like the Wicker Man or something. Like it's like crazy like medieval sets and like, it looks really cool.
It does.
It makes no fucking sense.
No.
Like he's running through this village,
Yeah.
which is like it's not really a village, it's like a walled city.
Yeah.
And there's like crazy people chasing him.
Yeah.
I love the idea that they were like, all right, we've got this protagonist, right?
Yeah.
And we want him to be like the most heroic man we can make him. Let's have him beat up the mentally ill.
I mean, that's just Batman.
Yeah, that pretty much. Yeah. Like he cuts a guy's arm off at some point.
Yeah.
Well, the guy cuts his own arm off, but
Yeah.
He beats up a whole bunch of women. Just very funny.
Yep.
Like there's this scene where all these women come out and they're like grabbing him.
Yeah.
And he's like, he doesn't know how to get out of it. And he just decks the shit out of like 3 of them.
Yeah. He throws some gnarly rights.
He does. It's very funny.
Yeah. Oh, and then don't forget the pommel horse that's conveniently in the
God.
middle of the fucking town.
It's the best scene in the whole movie. He rocks up because he's been running away from crazy people.
Yeah.
Thor gets eaten by pigs and stabbed to death. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
And there's this scene where he is surrounded by, I swear to God, 100 people. And he beats up all of them, like using the pommel horse.
Yep.
And he's like flipping his legs around and he's
Yep.
kicking people. And like, it makes not an ounce of sense.
No.
And it's like, it's so convenient that is there.
Yup.
But it's amazing.
Like why? My question is, why do they have a pommel horse
It doesn't matter.
in the middle of their? Just people rocking up to that occasionally.
I guess so. Just getting their fit on. Yeah.
And then leaving. Is there like a line
I
to
guess
wait?
so.
There must be.
I read that it's like, so I didn't read it. It was on that interview with Richard Norton. He talked about like, it's supposed to be this instrument that was used for like drying clothes. Like it's supposed to be this like medieval like whatever. But it's very clearly just a pommel horse.
This is a pommel horse. I don't even know how you would dry clothes on that. It's so small.
It doesn't matter. Or
Whatever.
scrubbing clothes or something. Like it's supposed to be for that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
It doesn't make any less sense than anything else in the movie. Like,
yeah.
I also read, I think it was Kurt Thomas who said that like the Crazies were actual like insane people that they just like hired and then like gave them like a buffet at the end and like whatever. I don't believe that for a second.
Oh God, no.
Like,
and if that is true, that's so fucked up.
That's so strange if that's true, but I don't think it is.
No,
like,
that can't be.
I think that's just a bunch of actors and that was their
Yeah.
way of like talking it up.
Yeah.
Because this movie didn't make any money. It's like,
Well, yeah.
it's a total flop, but it's
Yeah.
it's very funny. Yeah, I love that scene. And then he somehow, I don't even know how he gets out of it. Like, he beats up like 50 people.
Yeah.
But he's still got to run away. And he ends up in a corner. And he starts like climbing up because it's like real tight.
Yeah.
And he starts doing that thing where he puts like his feet on one wall and then his back against the other wall.
And just
he like
walks up.
shimmies his way up. And then he gets to the top and he's like trying to pull this grate off.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, like the roof is like right there.
Yeah,
like,
just
get on the roof.
Yeah, turn around and other way.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Whatever.
But he gets rescued
Yes.
because this guard approaches.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, like the guard's gonna stab him or something.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, he's like offering me his hand, pulls him up. Who is it? Who could it be?
Who could it
Possibly be? It's my dad.
Boogie woogie oogie.
It's his father.
Yeah.
Which again, we've not seen him before.
No.
So there's this reveal where he pulls off his mask, and there's a good beat where you're like, who's that?
Yep.
And then he's like, Dad?
Yep.
There's no explanation how he survived.
Nope.
He's just like, I just been hanging out. I'm just
Just vibing, honestly, with all these crazy people. Just chilling.
just chilling with the crazies.
Just straight chilling.
Okay.
Sure.
Dad's here now. And they take off, right?
Yeah.
And then we cut back, and the princess and the king have been, like, cornered by Zamir's men, right? Because Zamir wants to, like, take over the country, right? And he's decided at this point, he's like, let's just do it by killing the king or whatever.
Yep.
And so the princess and the king just fucking beat the shit out of a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
And it's very funny.
That
Old man is just swinging.
Oh, yeah. He's like Boomy.
He is, yes. I also love it because the princess pulls out her stealth outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Which she just conveniently has underneath her regular outfit.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like, bang! And then all of a sudden, she's got this, like...
It's a Superman
outfit on.
Yeah.
And they're just, like, kicking the shit out of all these guards.
Yeah.
We then cut back to Jonathan and his dad. And there's this amazing moment where Jonathan is like, oh my God, Dad, I haven't seen you in, like, 15 years. Like... I'm so glad we're back together again, and this is so great and everything. And his dad's like, this reunion's been great, son. Funk, and he gets shot in the heart.
Yep.
And it's like
they've been together in a total of like what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes. It's so funny. It's like supposed to be this tragic moment, but his dad just fucking eats it, and then he just leaves him there.
Yep.
And it's never brought up again.
Wait, was the dad the guy that got shot and the arrow just wasn't like in there properly and it was kind of just flopping?
I think so.
Because I can't remember what guy it was. I keep meaning to try and bring this up. But there's a guy that gets shot and the arrow, like, it doesn't go into him. Yeah. Somebody must have fucked up in props because it sticks into the guy, but it very clearly starts falling out, and it's just like flopping around because it's just stuck in the clothes.
I think it was his dad. Oh my God!
I was like, ooh,
it's so funny.
You guys didn't want to like cut and retry that one?
No,
you want to keep that? All right.
There's also, speaking of that, there's a couple of scenes where like somebody throws a knife into a wall.
Oh yeah.
But they clearly do it like reverse, right? Like it's in the wall and then they pull it out with a string. Because you can see where it is. Like, you can see where it's been in the wall.
Yeah.
So there's, like, 2 scenes where that happens. Because there's one scene where Zamir throws knives at Jonathan.
Yeah.
There's another scene where the princess, like, throws a knife to be like, don't trust anybody or whatever.
And there's multiple little...
Yeah, and there's little things where they pulled the knife out.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just thought that was a fun detail. Anyway, so Dad's been shot.
Yeah.
We just leave him there. Just leave his corpse there.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Whatever. I haven't seen him in 15 years. Oh, well.
It doesn't matter. And Jonathan's, like, running from Zamir, right?
Yep.
And you think it's going to be this, like, knockdown, like, drag-out brawl. And Richard Norton was talking about, he was like, we planned to shoot this for, like, 3 weeks. Like, it was going to be this huge thing. And then they only had, like, half a day to shoot it. And
I can tell.
You can tell. because it's just kind of a little scuffle.
Yep.
And then that's it. Yep.
Yep. GG's.
I don't even know how it ends.
Yeah.
It's just like Zamir just gets killed or whatever.
Yep.
And then they're like, all right. And then Jonathan runs back to the village, which is presumably miles away.
Yeah. But he
But it doesn't matter.
just a quick jaunt.
Yeah, because everybody's like loving on the king again. They're
Yeah.
like, we love living under this
Weird.
medieval society. We love not having progress.
Yeah.
I love the smell of horse shit. That's what they all say.
Yeah.
And then they get back, and then there's a title card. Because there's like a freeze frame, and then it's like, the princess and the king reunited in the country of Parmistan entered the future with the United States, and they installed a Star Wars satellite base or whatever. And it's like,
Great.
and then it ends.
Yeah, that's it.
It's so anticlimactic.
Yep. I don't
It's
even
so
think
funny.
there was like, okay, so we're all taught right in like elementary school, right?
Mm-hmm.
How a story works. You have your introduction or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Then you have your exposition, then you have your climax and your resolution, your falling action and whatever.
Yada, 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 yeah.
They never made it to a climax.
Oh, no. No. I assume the climax is supposed to be the village, but...
Yeah. This whole movie, orgasm denial.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Which
Yeah. What the hell?
terrible.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I forgot to mention. So my favorite... So there's the part where he beats up 1,000 people, right?
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
But the moment that made me, like... I was scream laughing. Like,
Yeah.
it's so unexpected and amazing. There's this scene where he's in the village of the Crazies, right?
Yeah.
And he runs past what you think is like a dummy. And it's
Yeah.
a guy. There's a
yeah.
face, and it's got like a beard and whatever. And you're like, oh. And then it zooms in on it, and it's a guy.
Yep.
A guy stands up, and he turns around, and he's got like a painted face.
Yep.
But for some reason, he has like a doll on the back of his head.
Yep.
And he's just chilling in the corner with a spear.
Yep.
And then he chases down Jonathan, and he gets like beat up, and then
Yeah.
it like finishes with like the face like on the ground.
Yep.
But it was so strange
It was
and
the weirdest-
unexpected.
Yep.
I was like screaming.
It was unsettling.
It was unsettling, but it's so funny.
It was.
You're like, what's that guy's deal?
Yeah, like what was his plan? What was the thought? Like did somebody tell him to do that? Was that like his own? He was like, "Oh, I got a great idea."
I like to imagine too that guy's not actually crazy. Like he's just like he's
Yeah.
good at this one thing, and they're
Yeah.
like, well, that's not normal, so send him to the village.
Yeah. That can't be a normal people thing.
No. Also, a lot of the crazies in the village just look like regular people
Yeah, they were just
who just were
normal.
real grabby. Yeah, for some reason.
During a lot of damn, that missile is eepy.
He is very eepy. He's eeping and sleeping.
Yeah. I feel like during a lot of those like medieval times, you were considered crazy
Yeah.
if you literally just did anything that was a little outside the norm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like if you weren't like playing your societal role to a T, you were considered an absolute lunatic. That's
yeah.
how we got the witch trials.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
whatever.
Half of those are probably just eccentrics. You know.
Yeah.
They're like, I like knitting, and they're like, crazies.
Witch.
It's wonderful. I love this movie.
It is a weird one.
I'm not gonna lie. I really like it.
Yeah.
I think, and I could be, maybe I'm just crazy. I've had a very long week. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
But maybe this movie's brilliant. I don't know.
It's actually the best movie ever made.
Because I think this is the first, because this is our third bad movie.
Yeah.
Our first was, well, no. Was this our third or fourth?
I think it was our
No, it's our fourth.
fourth,
Because we watched Lone Wolf McQuaid. We watched Mexican American. We watched Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Hard Ticket, yeah.
And now we've watched Gymkata.
Yeah.
Of all four of them, this is the first one that I will say with confidence, this is so bad it's good.
Yeah.
To me. I can't
Yeah.
speak for everybody.
Yeah.
I did not... Like, Mexican American is painful.
Yes.
Like, sitting down and watching it is hard
Yeah.
to do. Like,
Yes.
you want to turn it off so bad.
so bad.
Like, Lone Wolf McQuade is boring.
Yeah.
And
Nothing
just-
happens in that
it's-
movie.
Nothing happens. It's like, it's just kind of nothing.
Yeah.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii is just a sleaze fest. You feel
Yep.
gross watching it. Like,
Yeah.
you want to like it, but you also don't. You know?
Yeah. You feel, you're like, you want to go, like, donate to a
Women's shelter or something. Yeah.
Like, it just, yeah.
This movie, it's harmless.
Yeah.
It's sincere. Like,
Yeah.
there's not an ounce of irony in this movie.
No.
Like, no one thinks that what they're making is stupid. They all
No.
think it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
There's, like...
Which is hysterical.
It's hysterical. It makes no sense. And yet, I had the best time.
Yeah.
Like, I would turn this on again right now and watch it.
That's fair.
It's just full of joy. Like, I felt happy watching it.
I mainly felt confusion.
That's when you watch it a second time,
Yeah.
and you kind of know what's happening, sort of. It's a lot more enjoyable because you can kind of just wait for things that are going to happen. Like, you're like, oh, he's about to flip kick the old lady or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's wonderful.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I just...
Is it a good movie?
No.
No, absolutely not.
It's not great.
But is it a movie? Yes.
Technically,
yes.
by definition, it is a movie.
And would I watch it again? Absolutely.
Probably. Yeah.
You look like you're contemplating just the meaning of life.
Mm-hmm.
The meaning of life is Gymkata.
There you go.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, by the way, Gymkata, nonsense word.
Oh,
mean
it does.
anything.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Kata, by the way, is a Japanese word.
Okay.
It just means like way of, like the way of. So like, if you're gonna do like, I don't know, I can't think of any Japanese words at the moment. But it doesn't mean any. It's not
Yeah.
like a style of martial art. It's just
Right.
like whatever.
Yeah.
Gym means gymnasium.
Yeah.
So it's just the way of the gym.
gym.
That's all it means.
Yep.
In 2 different languages.
Perfect.
Great.
Fantastic. Well done.
I also just wanted to point out, not that it matters, but Kurt Thomas has now passed away.
Oh, rest
So
in
he
peace,
died.
King.
I think he died in 2020.
Ugh.
Rest in peace, King.
Yeah.
What you left behind is a legacy of greatness.
So true. You'll be missed.
I think this is his only movie role.
Huh.
I think for the most part he did like this one. It got trashed, and then he just went back to being a gymnast.
Yeah.
But ripped to a real one,
So true.
to a king. And with all that being said, do you have anything else you'd like to bring up?
No. I think we covered it.
Okay.
I think we covered it.
If anybody's interested, there is most people probably know this, but there is a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode about Gymkata. So if anybody's interested in 2 people much funnier than us watching the movie and having a commentary, go check that out. I did not watch it in preparation for this because I didn't want to steal any jokes. So there you go.
There
But
it is.
definitely go check it out. It's very funny.
Yeah.
But besides that, we're at everybody's favorite part of the show, which is where you tell us what you would rate the film out of 10.
4.
That was very quick.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was thinking about it last night. My roommate was asking me about it, and so I already kind of had a number. But yeah, 4.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
What's your reason?
It was too confusing.
Yeah.
They didn't explain really a lot of what was going on. They did a terrible job of explaining the rules of this game. There was not a lot of context to much of anything. The reason I'm giving it 4 is, 1, Kurt Thomas and his gymnastics. Those were phenomenal. It was really great. The dialogue wasn't as clunky as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It actually kind of made sense, unfortunately. And again, this is not Kurt Thomas's fault. He wasn't an actor.
No.
A lot of those lines just didn't get delivered well.
No.
And I think it had potential.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think if they had spent a little bit more time flushing it out, providing context, explaining some stuff, I would have given it a much higher rating. But I was continuously lost. A lot of the stuff didn't make sense. They would introduce characters and then never talk to them again. And the directing just seemed a little weird.
It is very weirdly directed.
And so, yeah, 4. Again, I want to emphasize I had fun with a lot of the action. I think the action, for the most part, was really well done.
Yes.
And I enjoyed it very much. Just kind of everything else, not great.
That's completely fair.
Not great.
10 out of 10 from me. No.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Now this is gonna be. I think I'll have a couple episodes where I brought this up, but I have 2 different scales for this movie, right? And really, I could break it down to 3, but I won't bore everybody with that. On a regular, how dare you? On a regular movie scale,
yeah,
right, where I'm looking at is this a good movie?
Yeah.
No, it is not.
It's
This is like you said, a 3 or a 4, right?
Yeah.
It's barely anything. It's
Yeah.
it doesn't make an ounce of sense.
Yeah.
It's badly plotted. It's horribly paced.
There's so many scenes that go on for way
too long. As an action movie, it's not great. There's not a lot of action.
Yeah.
However, so for that, if anyone's keeping track, my actual rating is probably 3.7.
Okay.
Out of 10. All right?
Nice.
Now, as a bad movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
I would watch this because it's crap.
Yeah.
This is an 8 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
It's not near the top.
No.
It's not, I don't know. It's not The Room, right? It's not so incomprehensible. It's amazing. It's almost there, though.
Yeah, I know.
It's so enjoyable. It's just pure joy. It's just and you have to give it points for that weird Village of the Crazies.
Yeah, I will say that was very impressive that they were able to take that whole sequence and make it feel like some whack-ass Bauhaus shit.
Yes. It feels like, this won't mean anything to you, but it feels like a Federico Fellini movie. It feels like Italian, neo-realist, crazy shit, and it's just out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden it's gone again.
I know. Yeah.
That part feels like it was directed by a different guy.
Yes. I keep, when that was happening, I was like, something must have happened. Mm-hmm. Something happened during the filming of this movie that caused, did his wife leave him?
I don't know.
Did he catch her cheating?
A lot of cocaine.
Maybe.
A lot of cocaine.
I mean, when was the Cuban Missile Crisis? Was that the 80s?
It was the 60s.
Ah, tits.
65?
Fuck.
Something like that.
What happened? Did anything happen in the 80s?
Reagan.
Yeah.
The wall came down in 89.
Oh, yeah.
Gorbachev was in charge of the USSR.
Didn't a space shuttle explode?
Challenger? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 80... Was that 85?
Maybe he was so broken up about the Challenger. I don't know. Something happened to him, and he just kind of went off the rails for a minute. But then he brought it back to earth. I think something humbled him, and he was like, "All right, you know what? I went a little crazy with that whole thing. I apologize. We're gonna bring it back down." Still made no fucking sense.
No. Also, the Challenger exploded in 1986.
86. Okay. All right.
So it was next year.
All right.
But regardless.
Yeah.
Those are my ratings. That's all I got to say about Gymkata. What a wild ride.
Yeah. Start to finish. Big roller coaster.
At least it wasn't painful, you know?
True. I know.
We could have watched Mexican American again.
Oh, God. Imagine he makes a second one.
Oh my God, I would love that. He has a follow. It's not in the same universe, but he has another movie called Latin Hitman.
Oh God.
We could always return to that if we run out of ideas.
Yeah. if we want to kill ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we really want to humble ourselves.
Yeah. He's got some interesting title. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about Damien Chapa again.
Yeesh.
I met somebody in real life who has interacted with him.
Really?
Yeah, because he's in. We talked about it at the time, but he's in that movie Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh yeah.
Which has this like huge cult following.
Yeah.
And I was talking with somebody the other day at work who is like a big fan of that movie, and they were like, "Do you know who Damien Chapa is?" And I was like, "Oh boy, do I!"
Oh yeah.
I'm intimately familiar with Mr. Chapa. And he was like, "He's a weird guy," and I was like, "Yeah, I figured that out."
Yeah. From the everything that
about
he's done.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week. Oh, I just choked on my spit.
Ooh.
It'll be too late to do a 4th of July special.
Not with that attitude.
Well, that's true. But regardless, this is our 4th of July episode, I guess.
Yeah.
What's more American than invading a foreign country?
True.
So next year we'll do National Treasure. But I feel like we should cleanse the palate
A little bit.
And watch something that is an actual good martial arts film.
Okay.
So I want to watch a movie called Fury.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
It's a 2017 Vietnamese female-led martial arts film.
Okay, all right.
It's one of my favorites. I've been waiting to talk about it.
I'm going to set my alarm.
Okay. It's spelled Furie, Fury.
Hold on. Furie. And you said it was a 2017?
I think it's 2017. It might be 20... Hold on. Or actually, it might be 2019.
And this would be recording...
Fury...
When?
2019, sorry.
Oh, 2019. Okay.
Directed by Le Van Kiet. We would probably record... Well, it depends. Well, I can't record this Sunday.
Right.
So we're going to be back to being... This is all getting cut out of the podcast.
No. Leave it in. Let them hear the nitty-gritty of this bullshit.
Probably the 16th.
16th? Okay, so I'd want to watch it on the 15th.
Yeah. So we'll still be behind, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's whatever.
But yeah, so everybody keep an eye out for that. Go check it out on your own time if you want to keep up with us.
Yeah.
It'll be a good one. That one's more enjoyable.
Hell yeah.
And it's short. I think it's like an hour and a half.
Oh.
So
God, I love
this movie was short.
It was short.
It's like hour 35.
It felt long.
It does feel a little bit long.
Feels very long.
But that's okay.
Have you seen the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
No.
Oh, I've seen it twice.
Oh, have you?
It's so good.
The last thing I saw at the theater was Fast X.
We tried to go see that.
We did. Oh, no. Well, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, so me and Lissa and some of our other friends, we went to try and go see that for her birthday because that was June 25th. And then the theater got shot up. So.
Oh, yes. That's right. Yes.
Yeah. I was there for that.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened?
Yes, I'm familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. It was over seats.
Yes,
Over seats.
I know. Okay, here's the thing, right? Like, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, just Google Albuquerque
Century Rio
shooting, right?
Yeah.
Basically, a dude, a fucking idiot, brought a gun into the theater, which, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Why do you bring a handgun into a theater?
Right.
Whatever, self-defense, I get it. Fine. But, like, they basically got into a dispute over seats, right? Like, somebody booked wrong or whatever the fuck.
Well, so there's this old couple that got seats late, I think, and so they weren't together, and so they wanted to sit together, and so an employee went in with the old couple and just asked this other younger couple, hey, could you guys kind of rearrange, you'll still be able to sit together, just so that these older folks can sit together.
Right.
And then the younger guy, got all in a tizzy about it.
Yeah.
Popcorn was thrown. He pulls a gun, shoots himself somehow, fires 8 times. He fires 8 bullets. He ends up shooting himself. He kills the old guy. Another guy gets whatever. And then the young guy's girlfriend beats up the older lady.
Yep. Yep.
Over, they just had to get up and scooch.
Yeah. It would have been... It's so stupid. It's like... On the one hand, right, it's like, I don't want to talk about gun laws. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But, first of all... Oh, and also, you forgot the detail where... I mean, you mentioned that he shot himself. Right,
Yeah.
accidentally. Good job, fucker.
Dumbass.
He was caught outside the theater, hiding in a bush. Because he asked somebody for help because he's like, "Hi, I'm bleeding," and they're like, "Hi, did you just shoot someone?" Yeah,
Yeah.
hiding in a bush.
So that's why they roped that area off.
Yes, because there was his blood everywhere. Because he's a dumbass.
Dude, what a fucking idiot.
But anyway, regardless, you really want to kill somebody over seats, right?
Right, yeah.
Like even if somebody threw popcorn at me, I'm not gonna shoot them,
Right.
right? Like.
Yeah.
And he can argue till the cows come home that he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I felt threatened." You felt threatened by an old man in a movie theater? Like, even if the guy was like yelling at you or whatever, you get up and you walk away.
Right.
You go outside, you get a manager or whatever, and you're like, "I'm not moving. Can you please have them leave me alone?" Or whatever you gotta do.
Right.
Don't pull out a gun and shoot someone.
That's just fucked
What's
up.
the matter with you? And for the old couple, right? Not that he deserved to die. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But like, don't push it. Just like,
Yeah.
if they don't want to move, just be like, "All right, fine.
Fine. Whatever.
We'll go to a different screening. We'll
Yeah.
get away." Like, so stupid.
I know.
And makes us look just phenomenal as a city.
It's great.
It's just great.
Really awesome. So yeah, we didn't get to finish Fast X.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. We got all the way to the part where
Wait, you were in the screening?
no
Oh.
no because they were watching some other bullshit thing,
okay.
and so we were in Fast X, and like it was right when John Cena and the kid.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. It was when they got to the little base waiting for Dom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's where we were, and then the screen went black.
Oh, you were towards the end.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I know. We were so close,
Yeah.
and then the screen went black. So, thanks, you fucking assholes.
Anyway, yeah, stupid. Why are you gonna kill somebody over that? That's so stupid.
It's-
You're gonna
it's-
go to jail for the rest of your life for that?
Yeah, whatever.
Who are you gonna?
Albuquerque's the worst.
We suck, dude.
Yeah,
It's like I get it. It's the West. Everybody's got a gun, but it's like,
you don't.
who do you think you're gonna encounter in there? Dom's not gonna come out of the screen to get you. You know?
No.
Anyway, it's so stupid. You know what that means, though? You know what it means? Because Century closed down and opened back up. They're probably gonna put fucking metal detectors in.
Oh,
Which is just
son
great.
of a bitch.
Just wonderful.
Yeah,
You know,
great. Awesome.
which just makes me want to go to the theater even more.
Right.
Anyway, stay classy, Albuquerque.
Yeah, never change. Or please do. I don't know.
Just, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine.
It's.
I love the threat of violence in public places.
Yep. Yeah.
What'd you think of the movie up to that point?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great,
It
right?
was so good.
We'll talk about it on the bonus episode.
Yeah,
But
there you go.
anyway, that's everything for
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah.
If you liked this episode and gymnastics, what should they do?
Backflip a like.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Comment. And subscribe.
Yes.
Leave a comment.
Oh no.
Forget what you do to these things. Leave a comment. Email us. I don't know. Hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah. Leave us a 5-star review. If
Oh
you're
yeah,
listening.
yeah. There you go. Do that.
Help us get out of
Yeah.
undo the damage of that 1-star review.
Be the 6th review.
Yes, absolutely.
Be the change you want to see.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it'd be nice if you left us a nice written review. We'd love to read that out on the show.
Yeah.
If you'd like to get in contact, you can email us at vivalaaction@gmail.com.
That's actually Gmail.
At gmail.com, sorry. At gymkata.com. Her mother was Indonesian. Anyway. If you'd like to hit us up on social media, we are Viva La Action everywhere, including Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. We're not on Twitter, so don't look for us there.
No.
We're on... what was the name of that? The joke's gone. Doesn't matter.
That's fine.
What was the name of that conservative fucking Twitter? What was it called? It's called like Forum or something.
You talking about QAnon?
No.
Imagine.
That is kind of like Twitter for old people.
Yeah.
No. What was it called? It doesn't matter.
It's
anyway,
fine.
We're over there. Just spouting conspiracy theories.
Yep.
Just kidding.
No.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Yep.
If you'd like to find me, I'll be dunking my head in a giant vat of batter.
Yep.
And you'll find Grayson
at the bottom of the ocean looking for billionaire wallets.
Oh, boy. They found the sub, by the way.
They did. I saw that.
Some human remains inside.
Hell
which is
yeah.
just lovely.
That's funny as hell.
Yep. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next time.
Adios.
Gymkata. What the? Don't open Google Sheets. Oh, fuck me.
All right. You keep asking me to do this.
I know.
And then we never do it.
Stupid fucking knockoff tablet. This has 1 gigabyte of memory.
No shit.
I'm not even kidding. Like, if you
Wow.
open...
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, 4 gigabytes of memory.
Mr. Fancy Pants
You
over
open
here.
more than, like, 2 programs and it just dies.
Yeah. Homie's knocked out.
He went on a rampage.
Yeah, he did.
All right. Let's see. They're still recording. Yes. Okay. All right. We're going to go. We're going to leave.
We're leaving. Adios. That was the podcast. Thanks, everybody.
All right. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1.